Hey guys, One Fit Bruja here, and today I'm gonna be coming at you with my top 5 favorites of witchy movies. I thought I'd give you guys something fun besides, some lengthy spell work and whatnot. I want my channel to be fun, and I want it to be about witchcraft, fitness, beauty, blah blah blah, But I want it to be enjoyable. I want people to come on here and feel like they can sit down and talk with me, and we can talk about anything: magic, movies, new anime that's come out, video games. I want to connect with you guys is basically what I'm trying to say. I want to connect with you guys on a deeper level. I want to know what you guys like, and I want you guys to know what I like, because we might have similar things that we like these movies that we're about to get into. You may have already watched some, and if you haven't, then you got some movies to catch up on, because Halloween, Samhain's coming. We're gonna binge watch a lot of witchy movies, don't lie, and a lot of horror films. I love me some good horror films. Alright, so I did say I was doing the top 5. I'm gonna go from number 5 up to number 1, so I'm gonna do it backwards. The ones that I would watch the least is gonna be like 5, 4, 3, and then 1 is gonna be the one that I could watch like over and over and over again. Or at least, 2 and 3 are gonna be up there, like close to 1. But don't get me wrong, I like all 5 of the movies that I'm gonna be telling you guys about. All 5 of those movies I could watch over and over and over again and never get sick of them, so that's why I'm sharing them. So, with that said, let's get into these movies, because I am ranting and blabbering way too much. So, I'm gonna start off with movie number 5, which is The Craft. You guys have probably heard of The Craft. I think it's from the 90s, I'm pretty sure, maybe a little bit older, somewhere around there, and I'll give you like a small summary of it because I don't want to completely ruin the movie for you, but I'll give you like the outline, the idea of the movie. So there's a new girl, I think her name is Sarah. Dude, if I get this wrong, the main character's name, Sarah, then put it in the comments if I do butcher the main character's name. So she moves into, I don't know if it's a new state or just like a new town, and she has to switch schools to a Catholic school. She meets a group of girls who already practice witchcraft, and basically Sarah is a natural witch, so she can already do things that most normal girls wouldn't be able to do, like precognitive, can move objects with your mind, premonitions, things like that. But they're subtle because she hasn't really tapped into it all the way, or really focused with something. She can make things happen, like whoa, yeah, I wish I could do that. She moves to this school, and these girls, the town is relatively small, I want to say. It's not massive, but there's enough people there to, not notice when someone new has come there. So the girls and guys already notice right away that there's a new girl in the school. Pretty much right off the bat, she develops a fancy for one of the guys at the school. But these girls end up befriending Sarah. I'm pretty sure it's Sarah. I want to say Sarah. It's such an average Joe name that sometimes I forget. I know what she looks like, but So they befriend Sarah because one of the girls saw her do something strange in class. And so right away, they think Sarah's the key to their... they're gonna develop like a little coven, basically. It's gonna have her and the other 3 girls that are already practicing witchcraft. And so they recruit Sarah, and yes, Sarah was actually the key of ultimate magic. And together they start doing some crazy ass shit. A lot of crazy ass things go down after they fully get into this magic. And one of the girls, of course, there's always that one chick who's gonna get all power hungry and ruin it for everyone else. But no, the other 2 girls too saw like all the things that were happening and all that they could do with all these powers that they've unleashed thanks to Sarah. And Sarah was getting freaked out because her friends were changing and they were starting to do bad things. So Sarah wanted to get the fuck out of that clique. And I don't blame her, because, once you spiral, sometimes it's hard to get out. And the head girl, I believe her name is Nancy, the girl who gets power hungry first and wants to do all these crazy bad things that Sarah's not into, tells Sarah, like, when you try and leave, like, we're gonna get you. We're gonna make sure you are dead. Crazy things go down. I'm not gonna ruin the ending because I have a feeling all of you guys watching this or who love witchy things, horror movies, or just witchcraft, and you like those little feel-good magical movies like I do, will love this movie. Check that out. Check out The Craft. I didn't realize how parched my mouth was after that. Got some Bengal spice tea. Yes. All right, moving on to the fourth movie. And the fourth movie is KIKI'S Delivery Service. I love this movie. This movie is so cute. And it's an animated movie. This, oh man, you're gonna need a lot of tea for this, because this is one of those movies that makes you feel nice and cozy and warm inside. And it's so cute. So the base of this movie is Kiki. Kiki and Gigi is her little black cat. I don't know if you guys can see him on the broom. Yeah. So Kiki just turned, I want to say 13, and now she has to leave home for a year. She has to settle down in a town where she's never been before and learn how to live on her own. Basically a witch in training program. I think she was supposed to go to some sort of school and settle into a different town. So it's kind of like college for 13-year-olds, but only 1 year. Yeah, it's a little odd there, but the plot of this movie is really awesome. It's so cute. I just love the animation for this movie. And so yeah, she settles down in this new town, and they aren't too in the witches being in another town, but no one wants to come out and really say it. They just give her like odd looks and whatnot. You know what I mean. You know what I mean when you tell someone, yeah, I'm a witch, I practice witchcraft, and they're like, ooh girl, I don't know about that. Yeah, you know what I mean. So she lands in this new town. She's tired, hungry, and now she has to figure out where she's gonna stay, or where she's gonna sleep, at least for her first night. So she's walking around and she's feeling kind of lost, but you know, at least you got your familiar with you, so that kind of helps a little bit. But yeah, she's walking around and she gets to about, I want to say it's like seaside, like it's kind of close to the water, and there's like some homes and stuff. And right on the edge over there is a bakery, and she sees this woman running out of the shop, and she's like screaming at another lady like, hey, wait, you forgot something. And Kiki, being the nice little girl she is, nice little witch that she is, decides, hey, I can bring that to her, because the woman was actually kind of far away, and she was like, there's no way in hell that this lady gonna catch up to her, because she was pregnant. Pregnant lady running, come on. That's rough. So Kiki, being able to fly and all because she's magical, hops on her little broom, takes the object that the lady needed, and flies over there and gives it to her. And this lady was like, wow, that was awesome. And, you know, right off the bat wants to repay her, and she lets her know her situation, and she's like, oh, I got a place you can stay out back. And so she lets her stay in her bakery. There's a shack that's like attached to the bakery, which is kind of like a little bunk area to live in. And she says no one's been there for a while, so you may as well use it. And in return, she can work in the shop. And so they develop this little flying delivery service, because Kiki's magical, and you know, now she can make money, she has a place to stay, and that's exactly what they wanted her to do for this program. So that was pretty cool. But as time goes on and the more things that she delivers, she kind of starts losing herself, which is kind of sad. Because you know how, let's say you get your dream job, but the more you have to do it all the time, every single day, and including the people that you surround yourself with, it dulls you down. It makes you lose that, you know, that passion that you had for it. Since she has to fly all the time, she's basically getting sick of it. And the more that she loses herself, the more senses that she loses as a witch. So eventually she's not able to fly, and she doesn't know what happened. But in the end, now she has to find herself. I'm not gonna destroy the end, so you guys can see what happened in the end. It's pretty dramatic, and I think you guys will like it a lot. So check out KIKI'S Delivery Service. This is such a cute movie, and it'll make you feel all cozy and homey. And, you know, just make your tea, plant yourself, and watch that movie over and over again. All right, guys, we're moving on to movie number 3. One of my favorite movies. It's more or less creepy instead of a full-out horror film. For the witch is one of my favorites. This family ends up getting banished from this village, or very small town or village, one of the two, and they end up living on the outskirt of a very massive forest. There's no trails or anything that go through this forest. It's just some dense, thick, eerie looking forest. And they build up their home in a shed. They start planting crops, basically rebuilding their life because they have no choice. There's twins, a baby, and one of their oldest sons. I can't remember how old he was. I think he was maybe 8 or 10 or something like that. And the girl is, I don't know, she's like a preteen. She's their oldest. The oldest is a girl. And oh man, she gets shat on throughout this movie so much. Alright, anyway, so yeah, they're building their life up over here on the outskirts of this creepy ass forest. And so the townspeople or villagers that they got banished from actually have a lot of old stories that in this wooded area there lives a witch, and everyone's extremely scared because they don't know what this witch can do. And no one's really actually seen her like face to face. It's just some old, wise tale, like, hey, don't let your kids be playing around in that forest because there's a witch in there and she's gonna take them. Living on the outskirts of this creepy ass forest. And one day, the oldest daughter and the twins were out playing near the forest, by the lining of the forest, basically. What do you call that? Right where the grass hits the forest, and it's bam, forest from there on out. Can't think of the word right now. I got problems. Alright, so yeah, she brought the baby out there with her, and she laid the baby in the grass, and she's, I don't know, far enough away from the forest that you would be able to see, like, if someone was gonna come on out and attack you or whatever, that you'd have enough reaction time to pick that child up and dip. And she was playing peekaboo, so she's over there like this and just playing peekaboo. Like, the baby was on the ground, like wrapped up in a blanket, and the kid was having fun, laughing. And when she went to do her last peekaboo, she removes her hands and the baby's gone. And she looks straight towards the forest, and all she sees is bushes like rustling, like whoever took that child ran straight into the forest. And that was creepy. When I saw that, I sent some chills up my spine. I was like, damn, that was fast. Like, so many things could have happened in that last peekaboo. That was abnormally creepy. So I can't remember if she ran right into the forest after that or if she just went home. But either way, she ends up gathering the twins, and they go back to their little cabin. She has to tell her mom and dad what happened to the child. The dad is upset, but he did not straight away put blame on her. The mother, though, likes to really tear her down throughout this movie. Like, everything that goes wrong is her fault. So she made her feel so shitty about the kid being taken. I mean, I get it, she's upset, but you shouldn't be belittling your daughter about the baby being gone. I mean, I just think that's wrong. I could never do that to somebody else. I mean, she's probably already hurting enough because that's her little brother, or, I mean, come on. It's already enough guilt. I feel that's enough. So, I think the father goes and takes the eldest son with him, and they are looking through the woods for a long time until nightfall, and then he was like, we can't stay out here for much longer. We're not going to be able to tell where we're going. It's too dark, and there's no paths engraved into the forest. Nobody goes in there, because of the witch. And so they turn back, come home, and the mother's still distraught because they couldn't find the baby. And then a clip comes in of what actually happened to the baby. And there is actually a freaking old witchy hag in those woods, and she is not the good kind of witch that you want to be messing around with, let me tell you that. Early in the morning, the eldest brother ends up taking a horse, going into the woods by himself. And the deeper he goes, the more creepy things would be looking. I don't know. If it was me, though, I'd be like, you know what? It's been a day and a night. I don't think we're going to find this kid. And I'm not going to be going in there by myself. I mean, I think that's kind of crazy. This little tyke, he got the balls to do so. So he's going in there. Deeper and deeper he goes. And eventually, through some fallen trees and very very rough terrain in the woods that he crawls through, he sees a little house, like a little cabin, you know, covered in moss and whatnot, like it's been there for a hot minute. And out the door comes this most beautiful woman that this kid has probably ever seen. I mean, she was gorgeous. She's a looker. And seduces this little guy. He ends up going with her. And then, of course, the boy is missing now. And guess who gets blamed for it? Yep, eldest daughter gets the blame once again. Even though the boy didn't say jack shit about going by himself. But you know, let's just blame the oldest daughter and make her feel worse. Well, the boy is missing, and he's gone that night, the next day, and then finally, I think the day after that day, he shows up early in the morning. It's really freaking cold out by this time, and he's butt naked. So they help him inside, but he doesn't seem like himself, like something's wrong. I think the witch cast some sort of spell on him. So he's sick, can't really speak. He's basically bedridden. The twins are becoming really irritating, and the mom's constantly, you know, putting down the oldest daughter, and she has to basically do everything else around the house because mom's so distraught that she can no longer do household chores. Like, her life just stopped. She had a strong connection with the boy and the baby. I don't know, she was just jealous of the daughter. I don't know why she treats her the way she does, but it seems strange to me, like, to make someone feel that crappy about things, you know? So her and the twins were down by the lake or river or whatever, doing laundry and whatnot. And they were playing around, and they're pissing off the oldest daughter, and she made some little crack about how she is a witch, and so they better stop pissing her off. So she freaked them out, and later that night, they end up saying, oh, it's her fault. She's the one who made such and such the way he is now, and that's why he's bedridden. And I was like, wow, these little... Ooh, buddy. Oh. Yeah, I was like, oh man, this girl is really fucked now. So the dad questions her, and the mother, of course, is quick to be like, get her out of my house. I won't want her anywhere near my child. The twins basically start doing some weird freaky deaky shit, like they're getting possessed, and they kind of drop to the floor right in front of the mom and dad. And the mom was like looking at the daughter like, stop, what are you doing? You're hurting them. I don't know if they were faking it or if something actually went down, because her brother, who was bedridden, was doing some strange things, like, oh man. So I don't know if it had something to do with it. It might have, actually, but they were, of course, quick to blame the daughter. So not knowing who to trust at this point, the daughter flipped it on the twins and said, no, it's them, they're the evil ones, because she was just fed up at getting told that, hey, you're the bad guy, basically. Everyone's pointing fingers at her, and she can't really ever have any say-so, even though she's done nothing wrong. So she was tired of that crap happening. And not knowing who to trust anymore, the twins and the oldest sister were now out in the shed, and the dad locked them in there overnight. And throughout this movie, there's certain animals reoccur, and it makes you think twice about certain deities showing up and constantly being present throughout this movie. So some things go down in that shed, and let's say everybody gets what they deserve in the end. So check out The Witch. I love that movie. That it's creepy and keeps you glued to the screen, like you really want to see what's going to happen next. So go check that out. Moving on to movie number 2. And for the number 2 spot, I picked Practical Magic. I love this movie. I don't know how many times I watch this movie. It's at least 1 to 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. Like, I love this movie. It's cute, it's cozy, it's heartfelt, and, you know, happy endings are always nice to have every once in a while. In this movie, if you haven't seen it, it starts out as, way back in the day, a witch was going to get hung. She fell in love, her heart got broken, and she was left alone with her child. And ever since this happened, it's left her bitter. She created this curse. If you ever fall in love, it will only last so long, and your husband or wife or whatever will die. Years later, 2 girls move in with their aunt, and one is Jillian, she's the redhead, and Sally is the brunette. Jillian, the redhead, she's outgoing, fun, spunky. She always like wants to be the star of the show. Sally's like down to earth. I'm gonna get things done. I want to, you know, get my life together, have a family, and you know, a good life lived. A lot more practical than Jillian. She doesn't get herself into mischief. And in fact, she kind of steers away from it. She's got some walls up. Let's say that. When she was really little with her sister, she wanted to create the perfect guy. I mean, she already got it through her head that she wasn't going to be able to fall in love because of the curse. And so she just did a little magical spell just for fun. Years later, Jillian, you know, she's so out there. She always wants to be traveling and doing new things that she finally was done living in their aunt's house. Like, she was in love with this guy. She goes through men like a baby goes through diapers, let's say that. And so one night she was sneaking out the window, and Sally was there, and they were saying their goodbyes, and they did a blood pact so they could always tell like what was going on with each other when, you know, the other wasn't around, no matter how far away they were. And so she climbs over the balcony and leaves with this guy, all happy and in love and ready to take on the world. I think maybe a year or maybe a couple years goes by, and she still hasn't seen her sister, and she's really lonely, and the aunts notice that she's really lonely. And she bumps into a guy out in the marketplace. By the way, everyone in town knows that the house that they live in is the witch house, the local witch house. And everyone who lives there are witches. And it's pretty frowned upon. And a lot of people look at them pretty strange. So she doesn't have any friends, so that sucks even more. Because, you know, she's the local witch, and no one wants to be friends with the witch because that's scary. So the aunts noticed that she took a small fancy to the guy that she bumped into the marketplace. And they kind of saw that maybe something could be there, so they did a spell without her knowing for them to be together. They do end up being together. They have a nice family together. And then one day, the curse takes him, and she is so distraught. Like, she's in a really, really bad depression at this point, and she wants to be with her sister, and her sister knew right away. Like, you can sense when something's wrong. Like, her vibrations were so down that she could hear her. Jillian came out to see her sister Sally. Her sister has 2 kids, by the way, so at least she has her little youngins. And Jillian's dating this new bad boy kind of guy and telling her all about him and basically making a big fuss, a big deal out of this guy. Like, loves him so much. Like, he's the one, he's so cool. Making a big hype out of it. Later down the road, Sally gets her shit together and has a shop, and things are going good. And then one night, she feels something is wrong. And she ends up talking with her sister Jillian over the phone, I believe. And she's like, you need to get me out of here. Like, this guy has lost his mind. Like, he's spiraling bad, and he's taking me down with him. And so, fearing something really bad was going to happen to her sister, Sally gets in the car, drives down to get her, and Jillian notices the blood moon. And she's like, oh no, bad things are gonna go down with this blood moon. Like, so she wanted to make sure she had this pendant, and noticed she didn't. She was looking for her pendant, and then noticed that she didn't have it. And she was like, oh crap, I left it. So she was sneaking into his car to get her pendant out of it. And he was in there and was holding her captive. And Sally went to go check on her because she was taking too long and saw what was going on. He told Sally to get in the car and frickin' drive. They're driving and driving. This guy is really plastered. He's smashed in the back seat, singing frickin' songs and shit, happy, all in his weird mind state. Sometimes when he didn't want to go to sleep, Jillian has some sort of herb that she would put into this guy's alcohol to make him tired and go to sleep. But as time went on, it would take more and more to bring him down. I think it was called the belladonna or something like that. And it's basically a sedative, and it'll knock you on your ass if you're any normal person. But this guy was just wicked, like not in a good way. So they're driving, and she was looking in the mirror and making eye contact with Jillian, and Sally were looking at each other back and forth. And she said, my belladonna is in my backpack, like in my bag. Grab it, put it in the bottle. So she does this, and then he drinks some more, and they end up pulling over because, you know, this guy has to pee. And they were discussing in the car, like, what the heck? He should be passed out by now. Did you put enough in? They're flustered and arguing back and forth at this point because they just want this to end. He gets in the car and starts mumbling around about weird crap, and Jillian's scared. She's fed up with this and just probably has a million things running through her head at this point, like how to get this to end. This guy is over here heating up his ring with a freaking lighter, ready to brand Jillian. And she's like, what the heck are you doing? And then out of the blue, he just starts choking Jillian. Oh crap, this is gonna go down. Like, he's gonna kill her. Sally goes over there and starts beating on him, but it doesn't look like he's really feeling it because, you know, he got that belladonna in him and a ton of alcohol. Like, this guy's probably numb. And then as soon as Jillian probably wasn't gonna be able to take another breath, he collapses on her. And they're like, oh crap, is he still alive? No, he dead. So they end up driving back to the house. They do some witchy stuff to try and resurrect him, but he was still way too evil, and he picked up basically right where he left off and started, you know, trying to kill Jillian all over again. And they had to bury him, and then weird things started happening, and it's cool. There's a lot of ups and downs, and go check out Practical Magic. It's a great watch. It's a very cute movie and has great vibes, and there is a happy ending. We are on the final movie. So the number one movie is The Love Witch, and I am pretty obsessed with this movie. I'm not one for sex magic, like it's not something I really care about to practice, but this is what the movie is based off of. And the main character, I'm pretty sure her name is Elaine. She is crazy. She uses sex magic to try and find new men. Like, she wants to find the one. But this witch is delusional. Let me tell you, she a delusional witch. And she got some screws loose. So it starts out as she's moving to California, I want to believe, or maybe to a different city in California. And her husband has died. She killed him. But in her head, he died a tragic death, and she didn't really do it. Yeah, delusional witch. So she moves to this house. It's kind of like an old Victorian house. I don't know if it's like a half and half, like a duplex or something like that, because she has her own kitchen and bathroom and everything. So it actually belongs to one of her friends, but she's like off doing something else, or maybe she lives on the other side. That part I'm not too sure on. They didn't really go into depth with that. So the interior designer who decked out this place for her friend, it's all witchy and really, really, really cool, like really goals. So you'll know what I mean if you watch this movie. Like, that is so cool. And Elaine, she's kind of strange. She's super, super gorgeous. Like, this actress is flawless. She's just kind of like whimsical, and like a whimsical seductress kind of look to her. And so the interior designer, I think her name is Trish or something like that. Trish. She escorts her upstairs with her luggage and whatnot and shows her the apartment. They end up kind of developing this friendship. And so they go to a restaurant together and they talk about things, and they get to know each other, and Trish kind of now gets a small gist of how weird Elaine is and how she has this really strong fantasy of the woman is supposed to serve men and all this kind of crap. That's the only thing I didn't like about her, but as the movie goes on, you'll see why she's like that. Like, she's delusional. She's got a weird whimsical mindset and has weird fantasies and like dreams and mask things with other like images and dreams that aren't even real. Like that's not reality. And Trish was like, why would you want to serve a man and have nothing in return? Like, I don't get that. But she can fairly easily seduce men, hence the sex magic. And all the references to magic in this movie are so accurate, it's crazy. Like whoever did this, made this movie, or has someone there who knew their stuff. So yes, that's really cool. I love seeing accurate references to movies. She's in a cult, and quite a big one actually. And her friend that allowed her to stay in the other half of that duplex is actually in the same cult too. So that's how she knows her. And she ends up meeting a college professor, and right away he's drawn to her. I mean, any guy in their right mind would, regardless of the sex magic, because she's just gorgeous. And she just got done dropping off some items at a store that she wanted to sell, some witchy items that she's fixed and made herself. She went outside, saw the professor there talking to another girl, and as soon as she gave him this look, he just shot down this other girl so quick and hovered onto her like a bug in the light. And they talk. Not much was really said, because it's kind of like saying like men like to stereotype women a lot based on how they look, you know, not so much as, you know, what she knows, and you know what I mean. Like, it's happened. It has to happen to you once or twice. Like, someone's gonna judge you off of how you do your makeup, what you're wearing, not how much you know, not how your personality is. Like, it happens. It does. It really does. And this is a really good example of this could be the last witch you meet, because one of these days you may meet the wrong one, being in that sort of mindset, you know, putting the pussy on the pedestal or whatever you want to call it. And that's what he did. And oh man, if he was still alive, he would regret it. They go to the cabin. He drinks some weird hallucinogenic stuff that she made. Didn't really question it, because he wanted to get laid. Like, this was his goal, was to bring either that girl he was talking to or another girl to his home or that cabin to, you know, get it on. Yeah, he starts hallucinating. They eventually have sex. He starts feeling really weird. He gets really clingy and emotional. He's crying. He's like, what's in that stuff? He's a wreck. And she's over there babying him. And I guess the hallucinogenic stuff was kind of a test. Like, she wants to see how strong their mindset is. Like, this is all part of the ritual, part of her sex magic. And when the mindset ends up becoming weak, she discards of these guys for some reason. I mean, this witch bitch is a serial killer. Like, she takes them out. So it's like a weird test they have to pass in order to be the guy who she'll take on and marry or whatever. And he didn't pass the test. So she went downstairs and she's gathering herbs and stuff and makes a witch's bottle. And I think it's some sort of binding bottle. I think it was some sort of binding bottle, because later on in the morning she goes back upstairs. He dies. His body just couldn't take it. The hallucinogens were too poisonous to his body, and yeah, so he dies. And she sloppily buries him out back, like she's not gonna get caught. Like, what the heck? Like, do the job right. So if you're gonna kill somebody, come on. So she sloppily buries him out back and burns some of her clothes along with him, and puts the bottle right next to the pit that she put him in, and does like a very, very light covering of dirt. I don't know why she did not bury him. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, oh man, how are you not gonna get caught if you don't? Okay, I'm not a serial killer, I swear. But anyways, she leaves it like that with her witch's bottle that she made. Takes his car and drives home. Like this never happened. So she drives on back home, just goes about her life like normal. She's cray. Like let me tell you, the last guy she meets ends up being a cop. She ends up seducing Trish's husband, who eventually kills himself. And then Trish finally figures all this out. Oh man. And then the cop finally hunts her down and realizes that she's guilty. But it's a really good movie, and I like the way it's filmed. It's like the film is like 60s or 70s kind of film. Like, it's really cool to watch. So I like that movie a lot. Check it out if you are into accurate references like me, then you'll love this movie. All right, guys, that is all I have for today, and I hope you like these movies, or give them a watch, and let me know if you like any of them, and leave them in the comments below. And until next time, I will see all your lovely little brujitas later.